All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to Showa Station, a Star Trek Adventures game using the rule set by Modiphius Entertainment. I know it's been a while, literally like a month and a half, but hey, we're back for at least the next 2 weeks, and then we're off for another couple weeks. We play when we can. That's how Showa Station works. Really, the only thing I have to say in terms of announcements is that I do have a birthday stream coming up on October 25th. The idea is going to be that from 3 p.m. to 3 a.m., I will be doing at least a 12-hour stream. Now, I might get really into it and go longer, but we'll sort of find out together what ends up happening. I will be having the Star Trek Drake Halloween special then. And this group, the Showa Station group, will have their own Halloween special the day before that Monday. So that week's just all Halloween themed, more or less. But for those of you who have been on the channel for a while, at least here on Twitch, you might have recognized when you're redeeming your points that there's that curious The Adventures of Prometheus-chan. You're like, what is that? What is that, ELH? So Prometheus-chan is going to be kind of a tongue-in-cheek play at ship girls or ship spirits that's very popular in Japan and all that. But it's basically going to be like a James Bond ripoff, more so than Austin Powers. And it's going to be a Twitch Plays Star Trek Adventures is what that's going to be at the end of the day. That's going to happen sometime on the 25th. Don't know exact time, but we'll find out together. Other than that, I don't think I have anything else. Let's do character introductions and people introductions, and we'll get started. So, Lone Squiff.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mal, aka Lone Squiff, on the Discord, and I will be playing Commodore Taraz, the commanding officer of Showa Station. I'm very excited to be back with everybody today.
Cad.
Hey, I'm Alex. I'm this Cad Bane's hat on the internet. I play the first officer, Sean Callahan, and I'm recently married, so that's awesome.
Yay, very nice. Rocket, what do you got going on?
I'm going to try and get super close to this microphone. So if my face disappears, forgive me. Hello, everyone. I am Rocket Fox, as usual. And yeah, you can find me all over the place. If you look up Rocket Fox, I will be there. And super excited. I have recently partnered with Cybernation Uncensored. So I'm going to be over there particularly. So yeah, the dates will be coming out soon, but I have a couple shows in the works that I'm pretty excited about. And as far as this evening goes, or morning, wherever you are, I will be playing Shishista, your friendly-ish security cat person.
Now, real quick, are you going to be GMing these games, or are you players in these games?
So I'm actually going to be doing a couple. One's going to be more of a video game format, and the other is going to be more of me doing just stuff format.
Fair. Definitely, I'll give a shout out here as Ars. What do you got going on?
Hi, I'm Katie, Ars Animus on the Discord, and I play the Lieutenant Commander, Chief Engineer Vakoya on Showa Station, and I'm also excited for us to be back again.
And with that, let's get the intro running. And welcome back. Now, it has been some time since we last played, but the good news is that we have been prepared to run for a while. And what that means is that Cad, Mr. Callahan, has the opening log. So if you would be so kind.
All right. First officer's log, stardate 0716.4. The Tholians have been spotted several times in the past few weeks performing drills in the nearby sector. The cause of this show of force is yet unknown. We have been looking into it. Starfleet has asked that we keep an eye on the situation and keep them appraised of any changes or sudden escalations. We are hoping it doesn't come to that. When we are not just staring at Tholians, the station has been abuzz at the arrival of a Klingon coffee known as Ratigino, however I pronounced that correctly. I have been spending some time with our good chief engineer, and in the last few weeks, I feel like my veins have been buzzing due to this coffee. She's probably having a lot of fun. And log.
All right. You may have one momentum for the opening log. So today we're actually going to start in a senior staff meeting with all of you present, plus your lovely science officer, Lieutenant Commander Kozlov. And at the moment, you all are just enjoying a very fresh pot of Klingon coffee or tea or whatever it is you normally drink during your morning stand-up, as it were. But Kozlov finishes her report and says, I am happy to report that Tholian activity has actually gone down just a little bit, but still slight cause of concern. They are showing their flag quite a bit, if you ask me.
This doesn't have anything to do with one of the senior staff assaulting a Tholian on the station, does it?
I don't believe so, at least not in the capacity that I'm aware of.
Say, do we have any? Has anyone talked to any of our Tholians on the station? Do you think we might be able to maybe get some insight on what they could be doing?
So real quick, since again it has been a while, you don't actually have a Tholian embassy aboard. In fact, the Tholians don't have any presence on the station since it's been a while. Your only interaction with the Tholians, and I might be misremembering, so feel free to correct me, I think they've shown the flag like once or twice, but they haven't ever been on the station. I could be wrong, but I don't think they've been on the station.
I thought we had a Tholian individual or two.
It might be retcon, but let's say you don't have one for the time being.
Okay.
Very important clarification, though. Very important clarification.
This meeting is just with the senior staff?
Just with the senior staff, unless you want me to pull in someone specific.
Because of the Tholian presence in the area, I would actually like Princess Aiko to be here.
Okay. Princess will be here as well. She'll just be kind of sitting in the back, just waiting for someone to call on her.
Okay. And Taraz will absolutely do that. Princess Aiko, have you had any experience with the Tholians on your planets?
Well, long story short, they did try to annex us once or twice, but when we sent their Tholian web spinners packing with the tails between the legs... Do Tholians have tails? I'm not sure. Anyway, when we sent the Tholians packing, they learned very quickly not to go into the nebula where my planet is located.
Good to know. Good to know.
What's their... when they did this annex attempt, what was their usual... MO? What was their standard procedure?
Well, let me see. Let me think. I do recall that they attempted to deploy a Tholian web, if any of you are familiar with that. And out of character, anybody who would care to can roll me a reason plus security at a difficulty of 1 to get you guys some momentum. And again, anybody can roll for this.
I'm going to roll for it.
This seems like a you thing.
This is just basically how much knowledge you know about Tholian webs.
Reason and security?
Reason and security, you got it. Also, you just get all momentum from chat. Thank you, chat.
All right. Oh, why does this have my... Hang on a second. I opened the wrong thing.
Hey, you're good.
Hey, here we go. All right. Do I have...
I think you've got a... I forget if... Let's check the wording together.
I do have xenobiology.
No, we can't use xenobiology for this one. No.
Oh, come on. Okay, what about...
I can give you espionage, though.
Question
Give you
mark?
espionage.
All right, I'll take it. Xenobiological espionage.
There you go. That's how we got it in there. There we go.
Oh, fun.
Okay, so the good news is you actually are up to 3 momentum total, but there is a complication. And I'm going to let you sort of define how much you ham this up, but Shashista knows what a Tholian web is, and I say this not just for your benefit, but for anybody who doesn't follow Trek lore to the minutia. So usually what a Tholian web involves is a bunch of Tholian ships sort of surround an object, whether it's a planet, a ship, or whatever, and they start emitting what is essentially an energy web that is powered by the ships. And once something is enclosed within this energy web, power begins draining at a very, very rapid rate. It's basically kind of a, haha, you're in our web. Once you're out of power, we're going to board you, take you over, blah, 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 blah. Now, the complication, Shashista, is that you've experienced one of these before. And you are free to ham it up, make up details as you like, but you just gotta pour in just a tiny bit of fear, just a little bit at the very least.
Yes, well, I've actually experienced one of these webs before. It's not great. So first off, they surround you like the swarm that they are, and then they produce these energy beams that connect to all their ships, and then it starts draining the power of anything that's on the inside. You feel the air that you're breathing, and you see the lights that you're seeing, and the gravity that's holding you to the ground. Well, those go very quickly. Shashisa shudders a little bit. You can see her hair kind of standing up.
But you
Not
were able
good.
to survive the encounter.
I was.
Mm-hmm. Charles will just kind of sit back at that.
When was it something that prompted them to start this maneuver, or is it they try to do a surprise attack with this, or what brings on this special attack that they do?
Well, Princess, correct me if I'm wrong. They just want things.
In a nutshell, yes. They don't really broadcast any warnings unless you violate their known borders, but if you encounter with wild Tholian, they generally are one of those xenophobic races where if there's enough of them, they'll shoot at you, web you, whatever, but if there's only one or two of them, they just go running.
Oh, fun.
Power in numbers, as it were.
How many have we
Exactly.
been seeing?
So,
maneuvers?
out of character, the number you've been seeing is like 5 or 10.
Ugh,
All
that's
right.
numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we think they're a threat, or could be a threat, obviously, right?
Until we are told otherwise, I think the most prudent option would be to treat them as a threat.
So Vakoya would would look to the commander and the XO and be like, well, with my years of working on ships in the yard, maybe I could try to look into their ships from the scans that we've taken and try to find some weakness amongst them, or amongst this maneuver that they're trying to do.
Or perhaps you could work with Kozlov to determine if there's a way the station could overpower a web if one started to form.
Sure.
I will work with our response team to make them run through defense drills, making sure everyone is in tip-top shape, ready to go.
Excellent. And Shashista, I'll need you to be on top of not only the tactical situation, but also to help coordinate with Callahan in case we do get boarders.
Of course, Commodore.
Excellent. She'll take a sip of her Vulcan spice tea.
Very important question. Has anybody actually had a bit of
Coffee,
Raktajino in the
Commodore.
meeting?
Oh yeah, Vakoya is like sucking it back.
I've poured myself an extra large cup after this is what we're dealing with today. I need a bigger one. Let's go.
All right, so anybody who's had Raktajino, I need you to roll me a fitness and a medicine at a difficulty of 1.
Oh God.
And then if you have survival or anything like it as a focus, I'd give it to you, but This is mostly for fun and mostly to get you guys some momentum.
Love it.
I don't think probably none of my focus.
Huzzah!
All right, you got your one. All right, so Callahan, you're drinking very strong coffee and you're managing it well. You're doing fine.
Let's do this.
Okay. No, that's
Oops, wrong one.
challenged. Yeah,
Wrong one.
that's
Sorry.
yeah. You're
I
good.
clicked on the wrong color. 2. There we go.
Okay.
Oh, no.
So again, Vokaya, a little bit of tasking for you. You're not bouncing off the walls per se, but you're definitely feeling the caffeine increase, if you get what I'm saying. And that'll persist for a couple scenes. I'll let you know when it wears off.
Definitely.
I need to come up with a name for an Irish Klingon coffee.
Ooh.
I'll think of that. Now I'm curious.
It's creamed. It's an Irish cream.
Is putting cream in Klingon coffee a heresy? Can you do that? Is it an affront to the beans that made the coffee?
The beans will take out Batless and attack you.
Yeah, they'd probably be insulted.
It may bring dishonor upon your kitchen.
I love it. I love it. Anyway, sorry, we got off track there. So with that flavor in mind, I think the rest of the senior staff meeting basically goes as long as you guys want it. So if you have anything you want to interject, now would be the time. Otherwise, we'll just skip ahead a little bit.
Good.
I'm good.
All right. So we skip ahead a few hours, and Shishista, you're doing your rounds on your promenade. You're giving the evil eye to a certain Tellarite. You see the Ferengi brothers still hawking their merchandise in their special novelty store cart. Callahan, you're kind of doing your usual rounds of the station, checking in, getting reports. Vokaya, with the jitters in mind, what would you be doing during your what's supposed to be a normal day?
So I'm supposed to be investigating how to protect the station, possibly from this web.
Correct.
So she's basically in her workshop kind of thing. And in her mind, like, not really obviously understanding how this coffee Ractogino would affect her. She just thinks maybe she needs to, like, get a tolerance to it. So as you enter into her workshop, there's, like, Ractogino cups all over the place, and she's like sitting at her computer and like console, and is trying, like, sitting on the edge of her chair and is very much trying to, like, concentrate on her work, concentrate on her mathematics and all that stuff that she's doing to try to work this problem out.
Gotcha. So quick reference. Anybody here watch Futurama? Used to, maybe watched it recently?
Oh yeah.
What immediately came to mind was that episode where Fry drinks like 100 coffees or something, or I forget if it was 100 or 1,000, but he just continually just down in the coffee.
100, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she'd be like halfway. She's like definitely jittery, but hasn't quite hit that moment of clarity yet.
Gotcha. All right, so that's what you're doing. And now I'm going to ask the same question of Taraz. Taraz, you haven't had coffee. You've stuck to tea. What are you doing during your little bit of off time?
Yes, her very, very bland, room temperature Vulcan spiced tea. Steady diet of that. She would absolutely be going over the reports of the Tholian activity, but also combing through the Starfleet database and just pulling up any, previous encounters from the official record, if she has access to unofficial records, that sort of thing.
Got it. All right, so you're in your office looking through records. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm putting people in certain locations so that you're set up to succeed on this one. So, as your day goes on, as you do your tasks, your normal day-to-day, as you do your research on the Tholian webs, around halfway through beta shifts, so almost to the end of your day, all of you receive a message through one venue or another. Maybe some of you get an actual runner, some of you just over a comm badge, but all of you get a very cryptic message, and all it says is come to the promenade, and it gives a location that is on the second floor and would be facing the nebula.
I feel like Shishista trolling around the promenade would be there pretty quick.
Okay.
I'm going to be very concerned that I got a random message like that, as I'm going to also investigate quickly.
You're
Go ahead,
muted, Ars,
Bokaya.
as is tradition.
As is tradition. I was waiting for it to be me. That feels okay. Bakoya would head there as well, obviously, but she would be carrying like pads and like still be working on her a little bit distracted concentration almost. She would still be working on this.
Taraz, what about you?
Since Taraz is in her office, she's going to take a few minutes and not head out right away
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of check out the model.
Check out the model. What are you looking
See
for in
who-
particular?
Just to see where those coordinates are on the promenade and who might be there, and just kind of watching the others scurry there before she heads out.
Gotcha. So, again, there's a little bit of a time element here, which I know I'm kind of railroading, but I'm hoping it's going to pay off. You don't see anyone or anything at that location. It's literally just a blank area of the promenade with a giant window. But between Callahan and Shishista, which one of you do you think would be the first one to arrive?
Probably Shishista.
Shishista?
Yeah, Shishista's already on the promenade, so.
All right. So, Shishista, when you get to the designated spot, you look around. You don't see anybody there. It's literally just you. Like, some people are obviously walking by, not really paying attention to you, but there's not like a package. There's not a person waiting for you. There's nothing until you look out the window. And when you look out the window, you see that there is what essentially is a block of green metal that is maybe about the size of a shoebox that has been stuck to the exterior of the window. Now, how it got out there, you don't know, but you being first on the scene, I'm going to leave to your discretion how you tackle this.
Well, I don't like this. And I think she would actually kind of like tap at the window, like right on the other side of it, just to see if it does anything.
Well, please roll me 3 challenge dice, please. And if an effect is rolled, it will.
Oh, good. Okay.
This concludes Showa Station.
And then we exploded.
Buzz droids.
All right. Hey, there's the effect.
3 successes. Something happens.
All right. So, Shishista,
no.
you kind of tap on the glass where the green metal box is, and the box begins to illuminate in a very familiar color to you. And again, that's kind of why I led you a little bit earlier in the session, because you recognize this color. It's the color of a Tholian web. And in fact, as you're starting to realize what that color belongs to, across the entire station, a series of these boxes begins to illuminate and project a web over the station. And it happens so quickly and so rapidly that before you can even get to your combat, Shishista, primary power is lost, secondary generators kick on, but you, across the entire station, you have no gravity, you have life support,
Whoa.
and you have no turbo lifts. So just keep that in mind as the scene unfolds.
Well, without gravity, it will be easier to get up and down levels.
Now, also for a little bit of flavor, since some of you might be on or near the promenade, of course, erupts in confused screams and, mutterings and panic and things like that. For those of you who are on the way to the promenade, you get either stuck in a corridor or stuck in a turbo lift. Taraz, since you're still in your office, you just kind of just start floating off the ground a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, she reaches up to the ceiling, start pushing her way along to ops.
I'm guessing I would have been in like a corridor or something like that, because I would have been on my way there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would be dealing obviously with floating through a corridor now.
Gotcha.
Pads going everywhere, that type of thing.
Just leaving a trail of them behind you.
Yeah,
Coffee
definitely.
floating
As
out
I'm
of the
swimming.
cup.
Exactly.
Oh god, yeah, the coffee cups too. Just
yeah,
direct to
that's right.
Gino.
I'm going after the coffee. I'm leaving the pads behind.
Nice. All right. Well, the good news is that after the initial shock and after the web has done its initial burst, the comms are available, so you can talk to one another at this moment.
I think she's to wake it on. I don't think I have to tell you what's going on right now.
Please do. I'm stuck in a turbo lift. This is really stupid.
Well, it's about to get a whole lot more stupid. We've been caught in one of the webs that we were talking about earlier. And it's going to get bad really quick. I would recommend us all meeting in the same place.
Already caught in a web. How could this have happened?
Well, my guess is likely by the time we saw them, it was already too late.
Okay, can you meet me at Turbolift 2 between the bridge and the promenade? I could use some assistance.
Yes, sir.
I imagine just like spinning out.
You're just sitting here, like arms crossed, just slowly rotating, like
I
stupid.
was gonna say you're like
Why
you're
am I
pushing.
stuck here? I hate this so much.
You just keep pushing yourself back down from the ceiling.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's on her way to help you get out of there.
Got it. Now, we'll deal with Vokaya and Callahan in a moment, but Shishista, when it comes to you, are you doing anything else with the now glowing beam-emitting box, or no?
Other than tapping it, I'm not sure what there is to do. Would it be possible? So question for the GM on this one.
Sure.
I would imagine in my last encounter with them, once caught in the beam, we would have tried, say, shields or something like that. And I would assume that didn't work.
Correct.
Question for the GM and maybe for the Commodore. Do we have like little things that clean on the outside if, space goo gets stuck to the station at all?
I would imagine so. Very high-tech station.
It's
Spared no
Face
expense.
wipers.
because I find this imagery
Very clean.
funny. Like I'm picturing like a Roomba, but it's like a Roomba. It's a Cation Roomba. So there's just like little cat ears on top of the Roomba and a little tail that wiggles as it goes along the glass.
Little Starfleet symbol on it.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say that you would probably actually spot one of these Cation Roombas just kind of on the window adjacent to the one that you're currently floating at.
I'm going to assume she would know more of how they operate, but I feel like me, if I were there in the situation, start tapping in front of it, trying to get it to move over to where the box is.
Okay.
Like
Trying to figure out what to
wiggling
make this as a
something.
roll. Roll me a presence and security, please, which actually I think is a good stat for you.
It's not bad.
Let's make the difficulty a 2 on this one.
No, it's fine. That's fine.
You also have 3 momentum if you wish to use it.
Not yet. Not for this. Yeah, I don't have any focuses for this. Okay, here we go.
Okay,
One
so
success.
would you like to fail outright, or would you like a success with a complication?
Let's get complicated. I would like a success with a complication.
Success with complication it shall be. So when you tap the Cation Roomba and get it to start going towards the, I'm going to call it a net box for sake of argument, since that's what it is. It's kind of emitting the net.
I think we call those modems.
You know what? I like that better, because reasons. Oh God, I just had like a flashback of every 56K dial-up noise ever in my head. Oh my Lord.
You've
All right.
got me.
So as it approaches the modem, which is now the official term for it, the Cation Roomba does that Roomba thing where it like bumps into the box and backs off and bumps into the box and backs off. And it does this like 3 or 4 times. And the success is that it does end up knocking the box loose. So the box is no longer adhered to the outside of the station. The complication is that across the station, if anybody cares, all of your Cation Roombas are short-circuited and will now need to be repaired.
No! Well, that's the bummer.
However, I would point out that now that it's not stuck to the glass, might be easier to retrieve or might be easier to interface with if you could just get outside somehow.
Well, I think she's going to try and get outside.
Come back to you in a moment. Let's go to Callahan and Vokaya, then we'll go to Taraz, and we'll come back to Shishista. So, Callahan, you're sitting in a turbo lift between floors, and Vokaya, when you enter, do you come in through the bottom of the turbo lift, do you come in through the top, or do you come through the actual doors?
That's a good question. So where I was coming from engineering, I probably would have been coming below decks from him.
Makes sense, yeah.
Right? Assumption, but so I would assume probably from is there a hatch underneath the
I would say you'd have to pull up the carpet, but yeah, there's a hatch underneath.
Okay, yeah, let's make it more difficult on ourselves. I'm coming up from beneath the turbo lift.
You come up through the hatch and he's upside down. Just
Taraj beat you to the punch. So, Callahan, you see the carpet being lifted up as the hatch underneath kind of pulls it free. And you're literally like upside down looking at Vokaya as Vokaya's looking up at you.
In this, there's a very scared ensign in the corner, just not wanting to be in this turbo lift right now.
Oh God, what do we call our Ricky? I'm trying to remember. What is our Ricky on Shoutout?
Rocky.
That's his name. All right.
Yeah.
So Edson Robbie is sitting there like, this
Rocky.
isn't my fault. I didn't do it. Nope.
Say, last time we were together, I crashed. Now my turbo lift stops. You will stay away from me and outside of vehicles that I am in.
Technically, sir, a turbo lift is not a vehicle. It's an elevator.
Well, you broke it anyway.
I don't think this is my fault, sir. With all due respect.
Yeah.
I love the squeaky voice.
Hey, Vakaya. We have arrived to the bridge.
For sure, Callahan. And she pushes her head back out of the hole and the hatch and turns back around. Because I'm guessing that you guys would be following back out that way, right?
Yeah, when you get out, then I'm gonna turn to Rock, be like, get all the pilots ready. Clearly something went wrong. Scramble everyone.
And then I'm guessing she would ask the commander, where should we head now? Do we head to the promenade or
definitely the bridge.
Or to ops?
This
I was
is
gonna say, yeah.
To the bridge.
So that's where they would start swimming, zero-G swimming.
Yes, just grabbing the side and just throwing ourselves down this shaft toward the bridge.
Using the footholds to get faster.
I was going to say, so I was going to have you guys do a fitness con just to see how well, but with that little detail you injected, I don't think we need to roll. I think we're good. You get there, no problem.
Yeah.
But before you arrive, we're going to check in with Taraz, and then we'll go back to Shista, and then we'll hopefully get everyone in the same room. But yay, Star Trek, split the party. It's happening. So Taraz, you've gotten into Ops at this point, and Ops is less chaotic than the rest of the station. Since it is Ops, there obviously are people trained to go for the grav boots or go for ways to not be floating around in zero-G, things of that nature. But as you come in, the lieutenant on duty, which, by the way, you don't see Kozlov. Kozlov is not currently in Ops, otherwise it'd be her. But the lieutenant on duty says, Commodore, can report that we do indeed have a full Tholian web encasing the station. It doesn't appear that it's coming from any particular vessel. In fact, it's coming from what appear to be 100 or perhaps 1,000 different small boxes about the size of a shoebox that are generating this web.
And are these attached to the station or just outside of it?
Well, almost 99.9% of them are attached to the station, but I do see that one of our Roomba near the promenade level 2 did manage to knock one loose.
Interesting. Now, Taraz she's able to just kind of see the readouts of this Tholian web, and is it comparable to to the reports that she's read before?
Yes.
Okay. So, is there a way that the station could launch a drone of some sort? Not necessarily a probe, but just kind of project some sort of projectile outside of it, because I don't want to send a shuttlecraft or anything like through the web.
Right. Well, what is your intention with this drone? And then I can answer maybe a little bit better.
I want to make sure I can get past it.
Oh, I see. All right. So you ask for someone to check whether you can get out of the web. And it's kind of an interesting thing in Star Trek that's never completely explained, but Star Trek. Because the tessellation, the triangles that are formed by all the different points of contact on the web, they look clear in the middle between the beams. But when an object, in this case a spare probe, goes to try and slip through that gap, the triangle goes a immediate orange flash of light and the probe is destroyed.
That's what I was afraid of. All right. Then in that case, Shiraz is going to just continue to get status reports from the various sectors and ensure that the promenade is being locked down at this point.
Okay.
So with Shishista, I know on her way, she will directly contact security and have it run through ops up there.
So Callahan and Vokai, you'll arrive in ops in just a little bit, but let's go back to Shishista because you're going outside. Now, finding an airlock isn't really that difficult. I mean, you've been on the station long enough that you probably could find an airlock in your sleep, as strange and as perhaps horrifying as that is. My question is, are you going to go out alone, or do you want to take any special equipment, or is it just going to be you in an EV suit and a tricorder and a phaser?
I think she would take like any minion she comes across on her way.
Okay.
Security minion, that is.
Yes.
She would force to join her. Also, of course, bring a tricorder, phaser, many phasers. And a long stick.
A long stick. Do you want a classic 10-foot pole?
That might be best.
Okay, I can give you that. All right, roll me 2 challenge dice, and every effect is an extra minion past the initial 1.
Okay. How many die in the challenge?
Just 2. So possibility of 3, but we'll just see what happens. All right, so you actually get 2 security minions to join you. And
hey!
Since you knocked the one on the promenade loose, you are able to see that there is a gap in which you can kind of not swim through, but sort of fly through in 0G. And this is why I wanted you to roll an effect, because what's going to happen is as you kind of squeeze your way under the web and you start to move towards the box that got knocked loose, one of your security minions accidentally raises their foot back a little too much and activates the force field. Now, this is where the chat complication is going to come in. The security minion is knocked spiraling into the other security minion, and then both of their life signs fluctuate, but they go unconscious, not dead. So you now have 2 security minions unconscious behind you that you have to worry about.
At the moment, she's just going to keep going to do what she was doing.
It's one of those things where, security
they're not
minions...
going to go anywhere.
Yeah, they're not going to go. They're just going to stay there. They're fine.
They're fine.
All right. So when you get up to the box and you're able to start scanning with your tricorder, give me a reason and security difficulty of 2. And you would definitely have a focus for this one. Also, I'm sure Callahan would love to know that that was a complication thanks to Petrus. So thank you, Petrus.
Yeah.
Ooh, a complication.
And a success.
This is true. There is 1 success on the board. I tell you what, if you will accept a grand total of 2 complications, I will let this succeed at cost.
I'll allow it.
All right. And hey, you just got a momentum from chat as well. So I'm going to say, and I got to be careful how I do this because I don't want to take you out of commission because that's not fun. So here's what's going to happen. You run a scan to the box and you can confirm that much like a mine, like you would say, that would be in the seas or, a regular space mine, whatever that looks like. It looks like these boxes were actually launched from long range and at such a speed that when they made contact with the station, they wouldn't set off any alarms. So you're connecting the dots, you're putting things together, and as you're putting these dots together, as you figured out the delivery method, your tail is going to make contact with the web. Maybe it's flicking back and forth a little too much. And what's going to happen is you're going to feel an electric shock through your body. Now, you're not going to be knocked unconscious, but you are definitely going to be feeling as if you just got hit by lightning. And what that's going to mean complication-wise is that until you receive medical attention, your complication range is going to be a 17 to 20. So just keep that in mind. But that's just the first complication. The second complication is that when you do make contact with the web, the transparentness of the web stops being transparent. In fact, it is now a fully opaque web. So now you guys can't even see outside of the web anymore.
Show is in a dome now.
But that's it. That's all the terror I'm going to throw at you. You may continue.
Just slide back inside very quietly.
Mm-hmm.
But would on the way back would grab take one of the minions under the arm and the other one grab with the tail and just drag everybody back inside.
Easy done.
I was wondering.
All right, so that we get everybody in the same location, we could have had about 5-10 minutes. As Shishista, you do float in, and all of you do smell a slight ozone smell coming from Shishista, but you're sure it's fine.
Is that a side effect from too much Ractigino, Commander?
I do not drink caffeine. It makes me grumpy.
Oh, we wouldn't want that.
So you settle for electric cow prods? I'm confused on the state of your being.
So what has everyone discovered about these webs so far?
I heard you were doing something.
Yes, well, I went outside to investigate, and as you might guess, getting too close to the web is problematic.
Yes. Unfortunately, at the moment, we will be unable to get through it.
It does seem, however, the method of delivery was having been sent from quite the distance, with a subtle enough speed that we didn't notice when they arrived.
Okay. Bakoya, make a note. Tune the sensors.
Noted. Feather touch.
Feather touch. Perfect. Good.
Adds it to her list of promenade maintenance.
Just, a list 1,000 items long. You guys know.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Now, was Shishista able to bring the box back into ops?
No, the
Yes.
box would have had to
No.
stay outside, unfortunately.
Okay.
It was too far past the line of danger.
So that box, just so I'm visualizing it properly. So
Sure.
these boxes are connected to basically the outside of the station, right?
Correct.
Are they what's projecting? Like they're connected
Yes.
to the web? Okay. It's not on the outside of them, but it's actually coming from that box now.
Right. In fact, one way to think about it is basically imagine someone has thrown a sheet over the station, and basically the sheet is the web.
Right.
Are there any boxes that would be a more convenient place to basically try to destroy or disable?
Let me think. Go ahead and roll me, and this doesn't have to be you making the roll, but whoever would like to, give me a insight security or an insight engineering difficulty of 3. And remember, you guys are at 4 momentum at the moment.
Somebody else, please do that.
I just rolled 2 complications. I don't think I should.
Good enough. Yeah, I think your range is now.
I can do it. You said
Insight
engineering
engineering. Difficulty of 3.
Insight engineering.
Can we have like the ship assist?
Or the station assist. Yeah,
Yeah.
the station can assist with a sensor security in this aspect.
I'm gonna buy a die.
Okay.
So I'll roll 3. Would yeah, I don't think any of those would count actually.
Look, again, it has been
my
a while.
focuses, yeah, like xeno engineering or promenade maintenance, like not so much knowing about what we're accessing, but knowing our side of it, the best way to access it. Type of
Honestly,
deal.
I'd say both of those are perfectly valid as focuses.
Excellent.
Well, we have a mission
Really?
directive of not angering the Tholians.
That is something I should also point out. Thank you for okay, we'll deal with the role in a moment. But that is something I'm glad you brought up because
If they put a web on us, they can be angered.
yeah.
Yes.
So the reason the station has that value is that all of you, regardless of situation, can call upon that value in lieu of one of your own. So just keep that in mind if ever you're thinking of spending determination.
Yeah.
All right, so that is a grand total of 1 success with a complication versus a difficulty of 3. Now, unfortunately, I cannot offer you a success with complication because that would be 3 complications, which is just not. There's a limit to how much, evil I want to throw at you at once. So you have the option of either just failing with a complication, or you could spend determination to reroll here.
I think this is a good time for a reroll. What do you all say?
I would say.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Is there a I guess a directive for this mission?
Well, it's one. If you look at the Showa station,
I guess the
sheet,
Showa, right?
Yeah,
Totally.
I mean, there's actually 3 mission
Right.
directives that it has that can be
That's fair.
used in lieu of in lieu of values.
So
Honestly,
I would say maintain the frontier, maybe. Like these are
honestly,
risks to the
all
station.
3 could
Yeah.
apply in some regard.
Yeah.
That's true. Totally. Do not anger the Tholians. Uphold the laws and values of Federation. Okay.
Can we add don't get shut down and taken over as another mission directive? On
Add-
So that'll be a straight reroll, right?
It's as many dice as you wish. It doesn't have to just be the failures. It can be the success as well.
Oh, I see.
Also, Lark, no, the E and ELH is not evil, though. It's a good guess.
I'll keep the single success because why not?
All right. Evil loves help. Well, maybe.
Oh my
All right.
It's the curse of
Okay.
coming back, I guess. Holy
Okay,
crow.
but here's the good news. You don't
It's
have
all
a
the coffee.
complication.
It's all the Ractigino. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, you're good. So here's the thing. You're not complicating matters. You just don't succeed. And that's very
True.
important. So, Vokaya, you're looking at the sensor readouts, what are powered by the secondary reactors. You're looking at, what you know of engineering. You've got Ractigino brain just going all over the place. And you eventually just look up and go, "You got
I don't
nothing." Yeah.
I don't know. I can't see it. I can't see it, sir.
Say, Shishista, before you had a static shock, were you able to try to do anything to the box?
Well, I was able to scan it.
Say, from that scan, do you think we would have any complications from, say, a point blank blaster?
From that scan, would I have found that there would be anything like that?
Yeah.
Spend a momentum. I'll answer that question.
How many do we have? We have 2 left.
3, actually.
3? Oh, that's one more than I thought we had. How do y'all feel?
Perfect. Let's do it.
All right.
Done.
Excellent. All right. So the answer to that question is a little bit tricky, but I'm going to do my best to make it clear. So a hand phaser will not work. 5 hand phasers duct taped together will not work. A low emission of the station's phasers would work. A low yield torpedo would work. but not anything handheld. So you couldn't like get a bunch of phaser type 3s and tape them together. Like that would not work.
Okay.
What about our shuttlecraft?
The shuttlecraft at the moment are unable to leave the shuttle bay, but you would
Correct.
think if you were able to get them out there, you conceivably could use the shuttles as well.
So if we could send a team to pry these boxes off the station and then have a team to detonate, do you think that could work?
Well, I think the biggest issue would be getting the team into the shuttles, I suppose you're thinking, and getting them out of the station. Either that or we can shoot ourselves.
Yeah, that's why we try to do it systematically. Like we start at one spot, start popping them off, go around the station, and have the shuttles on the other side of the team, so we have no chance of friendly fire. Especially since the exterior team will be in much danger anyway with the grid.
To clarify, when you say popping them off, do you mean popping them off the station or blowing them up?
Oh, just getting them away from the station, so when we attack them, we're not, hitting the hull.
Gotcha.
What about the traffic outside the station right now?
So you look at the transit reports before this all happened, and there was a Tellarite freighter that was coming in for basically a supply drop of some sorts. But thanks to the web, you're not getting any sensor readouts beyond the web at the moment.
And are we able to communicate outside?
You could try.
Let's try.
Who are you hailing, if anyone in particular?
It would. I would imagine just kind of a general, just a, general broadcast over a Starfleet channel. Just, to anyone listening out there, sort of thing. Not so much an SOS, more of a test of sorts.
Basically, a wide broadband sort of blast, as it were. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the ensigns says, "Channel open, ma'am."
This is Commodore Taraz of Showa Station. If any vessels in range can hear this message, please respond.
And I'm pausing for a little bit of effect there. Because after about a minute's pause, which I'm not going to go the entire minute saying nothing, but after a minute, you do get something back, but it's not from someone you want to hear from. And you only get an audio playback, but the voice is unmistakably Tholian. And the voice says, "This is the Tholian Assembly. We are hereby annexing your station and claim its rightful place within our empire. You have 2 of your hours to assemble in your shuttle bays to be removed from the station. Any attempts to disable the web or not comply will be met with force." And then the message just repeats. Like it's not an active conversation, it just repeats.
Okay. After we left the briefing earlier, where did Aiko go?
It's a good question. I'm going to say that she is probably somewhere on deck 3 at the moment. So somewhere a deck above the promenade.
She has her own comm, right?
Yeah, she has her own comm badge. You can get a hold of her.
All right. So yeah, Taraz, I would like to hail her and summon her to ops.
Yeah. She arrives a appropriate amount of time later and says, "Yes, I am aware of the situation outside. What can I help with? Is there anything in particular?"
Well, you mentioned earlier about your people's technology defeating or at least pushing back the Tholians.
I do
Is there
recall
anything
saying that.
perhaps? Is there anything perhaps aboard your ship we might be able to use?
Well, let me think. I do believe there is something, but it would require me to be on the outside of the web, unfortunately.
All right. We're going to make that a priority. In the meantime, and she's going to turn to the ensign that had relayed the message.
Hmm.
I want you to keep a channel open with the Tholians, and I want you to blast them with the rock music that we found on board Ayako's ship. I'm sure they will love it.
Committing audio warfare, sir. Aye.
And she'll just kind of gesture to the princess. We'll wait for the others to arrive, and we'll see what we can do.
And with that, that's where we're going to take our 5 to 10 minute break to give the players a little bit of time to cross-talk and think. We'll be back very shortly. See you in a bit.
Drinking all the coffee anyway.
Listen, is it a war crime to drink that much coffee? Who knows? Just who knows?
Well, Callahan and Vakai are fighting out.
Anyways, welcome back, everybody, to part 2 of session 5 of Showa Station. If you're just joining us, well, the station has been Tholian webbed by a series of strange minds that were launched from long distance so that the station didn't find out about it until it was too late. And now, as power is draining from secondary reactors and as everybody's trying to figure out what to do, I opened the forum to my players because at this point, we've heard enough from ELH. We're going to let the players do their own problem solving. So, open floor.
Oh, no.
Have we had any response from the auditory combat we initiated?
Not as of yet.
Turn up the volume a little bit on it, make sure it's getting out full strength.
I will just say that whenever chat redeems the complication is when it'll happen.
Uh-huh.
No. Don't do it, chat.
It's probably on cooldown. I figure like somebody would have popped off instant. It's probably on cooldown.
Everybody checked. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, in the meantime, what plan do we want to try to do to get ourselves out of this predicament?
Okay, so first off, Taraz would like to focus on getting either the net weakened in such a way that a ship, a shuttlecraft could pass through it, either the ones in the hangar or the princess is docked. Yeah. Whether that means manually going out and knocking some to weaken the web or, blasting some of them, I don't know.
To weaken it enough to get her ship out is what you're saying?
Yeah, as I would assume after the one got knocked off, that wouldn't cause a difference. It was so minor, but if enough of them got knocked offline or at least out of position, stretch the web enough that a ship could theoretically pass through safely.
How many boxes do we have near the hangar that we would need to weaken?
Yeah, how far apart are they, just in general?
Yeah, I'm actually pulling up a map of the station. Actually, you know what? We could just use the splash screen here as an example. Now, of course, stream is not going to be able to see this, but you guys will. So let me make sure this is actually a color you can see. It is. Look at that. All right. So if you kind of look over here to kind of the blue or teal dot I've just drawn on the map, okay. That is where the main shuttle bay is located, more or less. It's just on the opposites, on like a different part of the ring that is the docking part. It is covered by a grand total of 20 different boxes, 10 on each half, if that makes sense. In terms of how many are across the entire station, you're looking at well over about 200. And if you really want, I can draw like little dots, everywhere. But basically and as I do the math in my head here, every 20 or so meters, there's another box.
Yeah, I want to see little dots on the station. Like that's chicken pox, and then we can put that on the Discord channel.
All right, well, you guys keep planning. Wait, no, chat did redeem evil Q powers. So you do finally get a reply back from the Tholians, and it's their music instead. They're trying to outblast you. And I apologize in advance if any of you are actually fans of Share, but do you believe in life after love, but the Tholian version begins
Oh, God.
blasting?
It's truly evil.
I don't,
Well,
don't like this. I don't like this at all.
I can only imagine if Shasista just tapped on the glass and they knocked off. Like now they're more engaged, but I don't know how hard they'd be to pry off the station.
Well, let me remind you, it wasn't so much the tapping that did it as it was the Roomba.
But the Roomba did just bump into it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
That's what it did.
Yeah.
Should be simple to pop some off, hopefully.
It just didn't, you're right, but still not that difficult. In the beginning, is all she's saying. Before they were fully engaged.
With that, so with the Cation Roomba able to bang into it like it did and knock it off so that, how close it was on the station, are there like promenade blast shields to put down?
There are.
We could just force it down and knock it off.
Worth a shot.
I would like Taraz to do that. Initiate whatever protocol that is.
I think it's literally called drop the blast shields is what it's called.
It's a very technical term.
Right, yeah. Tell you what, why don't we make this a control and a command for you? Difficulty of 3.
Commence
and I realize now
the
that
external blast modules.
And I realize now that as I'm drawing literally all the dots on here that this is going to take me forever. So that's as many dots as you're going to get.
That's fine.
All right.
It paints a picture.
Trying to see if anything might apply here.
Let's take a look.
Don't see any focuses.
Yeah, I don't think you have a focus here that would really help you. Did I say difficulty? If not, it's a difficulty of 2.
Is anyone on the crew familiar with 20th century Earth cinema?
I've studied a bit.
Have you familiar with a film called Mars Attacks? I suggest we switch up our tactics with the music combat.
Okay. All right. Taraz is going to use a value.
Okay. What do you? Which value you tapping?
She's going to tap Never Late with a Say-Let's Dinner.
Okay. You want it for the 2 free successes to start?
Yes.
Okay. So really, just don't roll complications. Though with the way everybody's okay, that is the opposite. That is 3 successes, so you're up to 5 momentum. Nice.
Do I get a assist from the station in doing this?
Sure, why not? Go ahead, and the station can roll a control and a security on its part.
Okay. Doesn't have a control. What?
Right. Hold on. Structure and security.
Cool. And just 1 die, correct?
Correct. With a focus.
With focus.
There you go. So that actually gets you capped on momentum. Very well done. So you push the blast shield button, Taraz, and across the station, I'm going to say that you are able to dislodge but not fully disrupt. How many boxes? Let's say all of the boxes that were at the promenade level. So you now have a gap between the boxes and the promenade. Let's, for sake of argument, let's say the distance is 5 meters off the hull. So space to move around in, potentially space for a shuttle pod. But you've only been able to knock off the ones that are, again, near the promenade or at the promenade level.
Have the Tholians seemed to notice that they have been dislodged just slightly?
If they haven't really done anything to change the situation, but you will note that, in fact, the incident report, sir, I did start playing that Mars Attacks film that you told me to start playing over the comms, and I think the Tholians are trying to record it. Do I report them for digital millennium copyright violations? Like, what do I do here?
I believe that's piracy. Send them a warning notice that we don't tolerate that.
Yes.
Aye,
could have been the
Commander,
olive
sending
branch.
a warning notice for piracy.
They have been given a strike, and their communications will be shut down for 30 days.
YouTube, for these legal reasons, that was a joke. We don't condone piracy.
No, we told them to stop.
Now, okay, so we got, was it 5 successes on that?
Yeah.
And we are, what is that?
You're at 6 momentum. You are literally a cap.
6. Okay. So with that, if everyone's okay with spending 2 momentum to create an advantage.
Yeah, I think that's a great
I'm
idea.
for it.
Definitely.
And actually, thanks to chat, you would actually only go down to 5 momentum because chat donated an extra one. So yeah, you only have to spend 1 real momentum here. Well done, chat.
Okay. Thank you, chat.
Oh, she's being nice. I'm surprised.
I love it. I love when everybody rushes the momentum tracker and they're like, there you go. You're good.
All right. So what I was thinking with the advantage is by knocking this down, where we've increased the strain on the rest of the system, the network.
Okay.
So that there may be like almost like having brownouts in other sectors as it's trying to compensate.
I like it. I like it. Tell you what, I'm going to roll some challenge dice, and you're going to get something. I don't want to, completely poo-poo your idea. I just want to make it something mechanics. Okay, so I'm going to say that's going to be 20% of the web. Most of the web that is the promenade and up. So like even the ones that are near the bridge, those are the ones that are experiencing the brownouts. So from the promenade up, more or less.
How much power does it seem like each of these boxes can handle? Because would there be a way that we could maybe try to plug in different devices to the grid and try to flood it with power?
Overload it,
yeah, overload the boxes.
Is something you can try. I would say that this would again be an insight security or an insight engineering. You can assist one another. So Shishista and Vokai, if you guys want to assist one another, you can. I am going to set the difficulty at a 4, however. So you definitely want to spend momentum.
Let's do it.
The end game of this overload idea is going to be Callahan in an EV suit outside the station.
I got zero street.
I've already volunteered to lead the outside team. If
With like a Ghostbusters proton pack shooting it.
I love it. Just give me a taser, and I'm just like shocking every box I come across.
So yeah, so Vokai, you've got 0G, so you can go inspect one of the boxes. I'd allow it.
Definitely. I'll assist you here. Shishi.
Yeah, that's right. Shishista goes by Shishi. I remember now. Thank you for reminding me.
I had to look.
Hang on a second. Sorry, my dog is barking at himself. I don't know what he's doing. All right. I'm assuming there's no murderers outside.
That you know of.
For now.
They're only inside, sitting on the couch right now. All right. Apologies. What am I doing?
You're good. Insight security, difficulty of 4. You are being assisted by Vokaya, but I still would recommend spending some form of momentum.
I feel that's probably a good thing. How much do we have left?
You have 5.
Oh. Yeah, let's do that if the team is good with it.
So how many extra dice you want?
How many extra dice do I want, everybody?
Sorry,
You
what
said
is
4?
what are you determining again exactly?
Well, they're doing the insight security, so it's the same task to determine the weak point or some way to disrupt the boxes
or an
further.
overload.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, difficulty 4.
Mhm.
I'd say you'd want to at least be rolling maybe 4 dice.
And so that would be 3 momentum.
That's kind of what I was thinking, but
Humble
3
humble
momentum.
opinion.
That leaves us 2, so we good with that?
You have your determination as well, right?
I do.
I spent
Oh,
mine.
wait,
in
real
case you need
quick.
to reroll.
I just got reminded, Taraz, challenge dice to see if your veteran comes back, because that also
Yeah,
could be
I
a
did.
factor.
Yeah, I rolled it.
Oh, that's what that one. Okay,
Okay.
carry on.
I wasn't sure which. I always forget which way it goes, though. It has to be an effect. Right?
It has to be an effect, yeah.
Okay.
I have never actually used my determination.
Well, in that case, all you have to do is just kind of tell me what value you're tapping, and then you get to decide whether you want 2 free successes to start, or if you want to re-roll dice after the roll has been made. Now, of course, if you get an amazing roll and you don't need to re-roll, it doesn't use your determination.
Ooh.
How many dice are you rolling?
4.
I would say get the 2, especially since you have an extended complication window.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that
You-
seems. I believe we're getting some sound advice here.
Oh god, from me? Oh no.
Yeah, that's where we are right now.
Yeah, save it for the reroll.
All right. In that case, the value I think I could use is, how about looking out for the hole?
I can give it to you, sure.
All right. I was going to use can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs, but I've got
Honestly,
way too many
both could apply.
complications for that.
Both could apply here.
Okay, here we go. This is gonna go well. This is going to go so well. So well. Okay.
Also, do remember your complication range is a 17 to 20, so I believe you put in a 4 there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. What would I put there for that range? Just 17?
4. You would just put just a 4.
Oh, I did. Okay. I thought you could see what I was doing. Don't scare me like that.
Well, yes, I am omniscient
All
GM that
right.
knows all the things. Wow,
Hey.
that is 7 successes. Well done.
I'm so successful.
Nice.
Well done.
was
In fact,
amazing.
again, you don't need to. Okay, so that is with the determination.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
that is. I think you're at 4 momentum after the fact. Yes, you're at 4 momentum after the fact. And yeah, so Shishista and Vokaya, I'm going to actually put this in Discord chat because I think it's fun for you guys to put this out in your words rather than me putting it out there. So just give me a moment. It's material. And there you are. That is what you find out. And of course, you can ask questions and I can give you more, but that's the major thing that you find out.
Okay. Makai, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Yes. I double checked our readings, but this seems to be confirmed.
Well, I suppose it makes sense given its the effect it produces. And Shishista would turn to the Commodore, who I'm assuming is nearby, behind probably, spin around.
Looking
Commodore.
right over your shoulder.
Commodore, I've mentioned before, it makes me very nervous when you stand right there.
I'm spending 2 threat. The
also-
Commodore's actually upside down the way Callahan was earlier.
That makes sense though, because Shishista's like 6'5", so
She, stand, upside down, her hands behind her back like she normally does when she stands. Just, yes, go ahead, Commander.
Shishista turns around and they're just like immediately face to face,
Yeah.
but Commodore's upside down. Commodore, we've discovered that apparently, whilst these boxes are very resilient in their make, it appears that they contain a weakness to liquids.
Liquids, you say?
Yes.
Garrity, make me a coffee dispenser. And a big backpack full of it.
Big backpack will spray nos.
That might be more engineering.
Yes.
Would the station have any reason to have any type of
Does the
You know,
station
outer
have
nozzle?
a cafe?
So I know
other
where
than
this is
environmental
going.
systems inside?
I can feel where this is going. Ayako finally arrives in Ops, and she says, "I'm sorry, I was in Cargo Bay 1 where all the Raktajino was being stored, and I had to control all the barrels that were floating around. What have I missed? I do know we're in a web, but what have I missed?"
You're going to be going back to that place. We need the barrels.
Because the barrels, or because we need the coffee?
Because we need the coffee.
Is anybody else confused? I'm confused.
We're
The
breaking
station-
the web with coffee.
The station needs the coffee. It's pretty simple.
The
All right, I'm just
station's
going to stop
very
asking questions.
tired.
Whatever this is, I accept it. If this is a Starfleet thing, I'm on board. It's okay. All right, I accept it.
I was picturing that scene from The Matrix where, we need guns, we need coffee, lots of it.
White room, just rows upon rows of like espresso
Giant
machines.
blue barrels of coffee.
Actually, we should be in good shape because on the promenade, I'm guessing we have some sort of plant life. So I'm guessing we have some sort of sprayer or something with that to dispense fertilizer and chemicals and whatnot. Just fill a big thing of coffee with that and an exosuit and just start spraying the boxes.
It's
Now-
gonna take some time.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It is going to take time.
So.
All right. So since this is time, and time is a factor because the longer you stay in the web, the more of your power is drained. So up to this point, I haven't been knocking your power off very deliberately, but for every 5 minutes that passes in real time, at least maybe 10 minutes that passes in real time, no, I think 5 is probably best. And I'll tell you when I start the timer. Every 5 minutes that passes, you lose 1 power from Showa Station. So just keep that in mind. The good news is you do start with 9 power. So conceivably you have 45 minutes to accomplish this task before you completely run out of power. But that is the time limit in mind. The other thing is that this is going to be a extended task in that there's also intervals involved. So anybody with things like Miracle Worker or things that interact with extended tasks as part of your talents might want to look at those right now. Now you're probably asking, ELH, how do you make spraying coffee at a Tholian web emitter? Words I never thought I'd say. How do you make that a task? Well, here's what I'm thinking. You can either do it from a 0G perspective where you're using your talents in 0G. That would be a daring and a con, if you wanted to roll that. If you're doing it more of a engineering or security standpoint where you're aiming for specific spots on the boxes, that would be a control and a security or a control and engineering. If you wish to... How do I say this? If you wish to create a better coffee spraying device... that would probably either be a daring and engineering or a daring and science. I don't think there's any way to make this a medicine. I don't know. I don't think we can make it medicine. I left out command. Command, you could sit there and sip your own coffee and motivate your minions. Yep. But yeah, let me actually type out the extended task here. The good news is it's actually fairly straightforward. It's just that you don't have a lot of intervals of time. So your work is going to be a grand total of 14. Your magnitude is going to be 4. And I'll explain all this because this, it has been a while since we've done one of these. Your difficulty is going to start at a 4 and intervals 0 out of 8. All right, so... And again, so it's been a while. The way the extended task works is you kind of just roll like normal, in this case against the difficulty of 4. But every roll you make, every task attempt you make, takes 2 intervals of time. Now what you can do is before any rolls are made, you can spend 1 momentum, so it only takes 1 interval instead. But it has to be before the roll is made. But other than that, I'll continue to walk us through it once we figure out who's rolling what.
Do you want me to try to improve the sprayers, sirs?
Yes, because time is of an essence here. The most efficient method possible will be good. And I will.
Just like pump them into the station's weapons and just.
It'd be nice to find, a bigger area coverage area instead of going out there in zero G suits and doing it manually. But
we need
Well,
a
the
grid
state-
of super soakers added to our arsenal.
GM,
Yes.
can you remind me what testing a theory is again? I tried to look it up and I couldn't find, but I know that's extended task, right?
I believe it's if you've used something in regards to the subject matter, you regain a point of momentum, but let me look it up.
Okay.
Testing the
I couldn't,
theory.
appreciate it. I couldn't quite remember what.
Here it is.
That one
When
does.
you attempt a task using engineering or science, you may reroll one additional d20 so long as you succeeded at a previous task covering the same scientific or technological field earlier in the same adventure. Well,
Okay.
remember how I told you that you were getting the jitters from coffee? Well, there you go. That's how you test a theory.
Awesome. Thank you.
But yeah, just as a reminder, this is a difficulty of 4, and you guys do get at least 1 assist.
So, would that work? What?
So if the station is in 0G and we pour out some Ractogene over a transporter pad and then beam that onto a Tholian modem, it would. The only thing I would tell you is that every time you transport something, it would take power to do it. But it is something you could try.
We have a good last-ditch effort plan on there, which is good.
You just make a Ractogeno web. Just
A web for their web.
So
Yeah.
if we start off, we attack all the boxes near the shuttle bay.
Yeah.
So then we can then get the shuttle out, and then we can start attacking from multiple levels. Also, I think this would be a good time, ready battle stations, because as soon as we start taking these out, we will probably have some conflict from the Tholians.
Okay, so Vokaya is Vokaya going down to engineering to replicate something down there? Jury,
I'm not really sure on my direction, sir. What would you like me to do?
Okay. All right. Callahan, Vokaya, I want both of you to come up with a device that we can use on the exterior of the station. If we have to remove these one by one, we will.
Okay.
Shishista, you and I will say an ops in case the Tholians change their minds and come at us a little sooner.
Yes.
All right.
And the princess is still up here, right?
Yes.
Aiko, if you could work with Callahan and Vokaya to get the coffee where it needs to go.
Okay, I'm not exactly sure why I've come a barista, but sure, that sounds fine.
Welcome to Starfleet.
You're a barista now. Congratulations.
Does that mean I actually get a stipend now? Or...
You work for tips.
Yes. You get an apron and can work for tips.
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with this concept. What is a tip?
It's extra money
Joke.
for doing a good job.
Oh, I see. A sort of reward for doing a good deed.
Something like that.
Oversimplification, but we have a web to destroy. Let's go.
Right. So yeah,
Okay.
Vokaya, either a daring or a control plus engineering. Callahan, same for you.
Can
Difficulty 4.
I feel like
Difficulty of 4.
if I try to help, I'll be in the way. Can I try to use my great presence to inspire her to do better?
If you do presence engineering, yes.
Okay.
Presence engineering.
Obviously his power stats,
What
obviously.
is that?
That was daring.
Presence, yes. Engineering, no.
That was daring, you said? Sorry,
Daring
that's a
or
lot.
control.
Gotcha.
And by my count, you
definitely more daring.
have 4 momentum to spend if you need it.
Okay. my focuses would still apply, right?
Yes.
Excellent. So I'm gonna spend, if it's okay with everybody, some momentum.
Yes,
Yes, please do.
please do.
Okay. So I want to. So can I roll 5 dice, but give you 1 threat somewhere in there?
Yeah, you can certainly do that.
Perfect. How many does that use? All of our momentum, I think.
It
right?
would use your 4 momentum plus 2 threat. Yeah.
Perfect. I'm going for broke, guys.
So
I believe.
Quit.
Can I buy the threat on that because I could use my bold command since I'm not using the command, I'm using engineering. No.
Yeah.
One of them, and then I bought the other one with my bold.
Well, that's the thing, is that you can't like both benefit from
Yeah.
threat unless
Yeah.
you. Yeah, there's not a
Okay.
way to do it. So.
Okay.
That'd be cool though if we could both
Yeah.
take the hit for
Yeah.
the leaning to that side. Okay. So focus on all dice.
Well, I mean, that is a grand total of 9 successes. So,
Woo.
yeah, that is significant. So now that you've achieved 9 successes and basically put yourself at 5 momentum once again, very well done. Here's how it works.
I'm in that angelic coffee mode now. I've hit the fry moment.
There you go.
I'm keeping
So-
the cup ready and going and hot.
Right.
You're just feeding her like it's an assembly line, like you're like scooping Ractigino out of like a blue barrel, and you're quickly throwing it in the coffee maker and pulling it out and handing it to her. Just
I've got one of those backpacks with like just
with the tube that you have to like bite down
Yeah.
on, and
definitely.
I was
Giving her
going
a
to say with a
Camelback.
hat with 2 tubes.
Oh god. That's even better.
No, all 3. She has all 3.
You're
Jeez. I'm a coordinate. I'm sure it's affecting me totally differently.
oh, this. I'm glad I threw the coffee in as mostly a joke. I'm glad we've done this. Okay. So Vokaya, what is your engineering's a 5, right?
Yep.
All right, you're going to be rolling me 2 + 5, 7 challenge dice here, and that is going to represent how much work you do in this first attempt.
7.
Okay, so it is only 4 successes, but what you can do is you could spend a momentum to re-roll as many challenge dice as you wish, and the reason you would do that is because the magic number is 5. 5 or more work done in a single event is counted as a breakthrough, or basically it ticks down the magnitude of the extended task. And once you run out of magnitude, the extended task is over.
Definitely.
You're
So
even
how
better
many-
though, because you have Miracle
Right.
Worker. So
Right.
every breakthrough you get, that's 2 breakthroughs.
So it's definitely worth it for me. How many blanks are there? 3?
I
it
count
looks like.
4.
4. It's hard to tell. So let's do spend a momentum, re-roll the blanks, right?
All right, so you go from 4 to a grand total of 8, and that is
Nice.
enough. So, we literally just made a joke about it, but yeah, I think somewhere in between all the coffee that's flowing into you, you reach a moment of zen, and you put together what is, and this is going to be a dated reference, and I apologize if this goes over anyone's head, but you know how back in the day when Super Soakers were coming out, there was this like really long like rifle thing that you could pump up to like 4 different levels, and if you pumped it up
Yes.
all the way, it could like shoot across.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yep.
like one of those.
Yep.
You basically make, hold on. I'm gonna look up the model number because this is important. This is clearly the most important thing. Super Soaker.
Come canon now.
It's the one with the backpack and everything.
Yeah,
It had,
I gotta
like
know.
a bicon on it because it was so big.
Here it
That's
is.
right.
Yep. It's the remake. It is now called the Rainstorm, apparently. No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong thing. This is, oh my lord. Oh, good lord. Okay. Okay, I know we went off a tangent, but I literally just clicked on the first link, and I'm like on a Nerf enthusiast, and they're like, so if you want to increase the PSI of your Super Soaker and you want to make sure that it can cut through metal, here's what you
Oh,
do. And I'm like,
no.
what?
Oh God!
Super
Jeez.
Soaker rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, that's what it was. It was the CPS 2000. That's what it was, the CPS 2000. So now you have the Ractigino equivalent of the CPS 2000.
The RPS.
Yep.
Love it.
Oh, and the complication that chat just so generously gave me is that Vokaya, the moment you finish your device and you present it to Callahan, coffee drop.
Crash.
Yep.
Oh no.
So you're
Yeah.
still conscious, you're still able to do things, but your complication range, much like Shishista's, is now a 17 to 20.
Definitely. Expected.
Electrocuted
Appreciated.
in your own way.
Mhm.
Yeah. After I pass off his see, you got your Ghostbusters pack. You were joking
did.
about it, but there you go.
Mhm.
I'm gonna then hit my communicator to the Commodore and be like, so you know when you talked about like me outside with a proton pack, we kind of made the coffee equivalent, and we're ready.
Excellent. How much time has passed now since that? Was it just one interval?
2 intervals because no momentum was spent to reduce it, and your power is currently at 7.
7.
But yeah, so extended task, you basically keep going until the extended task is done. You just can now reflavor it a different way. You only really need to do 2 more breakthroughs. So if you want to send Vokaya out there and she gets a breakthrough, that'll instantly finish the extended task. If you want to go out there yourself, Callahan or Shishista or Taraz, if you want to go out there yourself, you would need to get a grand total of 6 work done, and then you would complete the extended task in that instance.
Which could be, you could do that,
Yeah, it's possible.
right?
Yeah.
Right, let's.
Now, what I would tell you is that if it was Shishista, this would be a fitness security. If it is Callahan, it is a
Oh,
fitness
fitness
con. And for Taraz, if for whatever reason Taraz wanted to go out there, it would be a fitness and con as well.
I feel like Shishi's is probably the best bet on there.
I was gonna say I have pretty high for that, so
What do you want?
I'd be happy to do it.
Maybe take Callahan to assist since I'm compromised.
I will go toward the shuttle things if I can go fly in the princess's shuttle because I have a thing of small craft. And then if we can get through, I can start helping with the shuttle.
Yeah,
Sweet.
love it. All right, so the good news is that it's only a difficulty of 2 now, so you're set up for success.
All right. That I can stand behind.
And we have 4 momentum. Use them.
Can I add? Let me add 1 more die, if I may.
Okay.
Okay, this will go well.
I believe. Nice. So,
My God.
Callahan, if you are
well,
assisting,
for who?
I
I did not say.
I am
'Cause
assisting.
apparently,
All right.
it's not well for us.
I need to see at least one. I need to see at least 1 success on your fitness con. Which, if you do, let's Shishista roll. But otherwise, it's going to be a failure, unfortunately, unless some determination comes onto the field.
Oh God, I'll probably use it. Something if this fails. All right,
Oh my goodness.
1. Let's go.
There's the 1. All right.
Damn,
So-
I'm assisting very well today.
To sort of paint the scene, we see Shishista and Callahan. Shishista, you're up near the bridge and the promenade. Callahan, you're down near the shuttle bay. The princess is in her shuttle getting it ready to try and break through the web. When the Tholians begin transmitting their own response to the Mars attack video. And I would just like everybody to
No.
imagine, if you know the song, Andrew WK's I Get Wet, but the Tholian version. So it's some kind of like hardcore, like metal and rock and pop mixed into one. It's actually really catchy, all things considered, but that's neither here nor there. Shishista,
That's even more
Callahan,
dangerous.
Shishista Callahan, as you quite literally use your Ractigino PS2000s to begin quite literally piercing through the boxes one by one, the web begins to dismantle and reconfigure itself. But after like the 4th or 5th box of you working together, the web begins to rescind and shatter. And to top it all off, Callahan, as you shatter the last box needed, Princess flies her ship out of the shuttle bay and using her weapons is able to knock out the rest of the webs. Now you're probably wondering, ELH, what's that complication? The complication is going to be Shashista. You were a little zealous, just a little bit. You may have
Always.
overcompensated for how much force was in the 2000 series Raktajino shooter. So I'd like you to imagine that the shuttle or the station is just slowly becoming smaller and smaller as you drift away from the station.
Will be jumping into a shuttle immediately to go rescue the security officer.
Love it. All right. Well, for Taraz in the bridge, as all this is happening, you do get a report that says, "Sir, the Tholians." Well, now that we can see about beyond the web, I am able to see that there are Tholian craft coming. Oh no, okay. Tholians are turning around, sir. There were Tholians inbound, but now they're turning right around.
Taraz is going to respond to their response of our response, and be sending them the equivalent of YouTube cute cat videos.
I feel like a Tholian might explode just sending them cute cat pictures. Like, what is this?
Completely cute, adorable cats just playing, and
All right.
You don't want
Warfare.
to send Nyan Cat? Or
Yeah, that's
Keyboard Cat?
Or like the space cat one.
Yeah, that's the end cat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. So yeah, good news. Day is saved. Some of you are a little bit singed around the edges. Some of you are literally having the best sleep of your life because of coffee drop. But
Yeah, she like didn't even make it. She's like, somebody enters a turbo lift and you just see her like passed out on the bottom of the lift. Like hasn't even made it back to her workshop. Crashed on the way.
So the final moment before we call the session is we cut ahead maybe a couple days where Taraz, you're on the channel with Starfleet Command, you're explaining everything that happened, and the fleet admiral on the other end just kind of looks at you and says, Commodore, I just want to be very clear on this point. You used Klingon coffee to stop a war with the Tholians.
Yes, Admiral, I have it in my report, and I'll also be sending an addendum about weaponizing Raktajino in the future.
Good, because I have a feeling once the Klingons get a hold of this information, they're going to want to send not only more Raktajino, but also get a first-hand account of what happened.
Showa's first sponsor.
Yeah.
But that she'll
if
just
anyone
take
can
another
appreciate
sip
it.
from her tea.
And as we sort of zoom out of Taraz's office, we see that if you look carefully in the model of Showa Station, we see that the Ferengi brothers are now selling the CPS 1000 at their store. So that's
Nice.
But yeah, that's where we'll end today's session. What did you guys think? I thought that went tremendously
That
well.
was so good.
I think so. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It's canon now.
It's good to be back.
Hostilities between Klingons and the Federation was ceased due to weaponized coffee.
Yeah. You have brought honor to your house, Maxwell House.
Maxwell, jeez. Nice.
I belong to House of Maxwell.
All right. Well, Twitch, stick
good.
around because we're going to raid somebody but YouTube. We'll see you later.